show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we could be true, we could be true. I want you to see what I see in us, something so real, something so real. I want you to see that this is a love that we both feel, that we both feel. And how will we ever know if the love will ever grow without trying, without trying? And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying, it's terrifying. That we're meant to be. We're meant to be. That we're meant to be. Meant to be. We've both been there before. When a love shuts the door, it's a losing game. It's a losing game. But this time it's more than another lot of war. This ain't the same. This ain't the same. They say love heals all. It makes it all alright. In time, in time. My heart still feels the breaking, but you make my world so bright. It feels so right. It feels so right. And how will we ever feel that what we've got is real? There's no denying. There's no denying. And how will we ever see if we are meant to be? It's terrifying.
we are. Sweet. Okay, now we're back. We're ready. So apparently my mic didn't connect right whenever I plugged it in. So I'm gonna do a quick audio check just to make sure that's working fine. Let's see here. How's this sound? I think this sounds pretty good. Let's see. What the audio check shows. I think this sounds pretty good. Okay, we're on point. Yes. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Caffeine and Octane Pre-Show podcast. Today, we are going to be changing the show up a little bit. We've usually done the show with more of a news format. Now, we're going to touch up on some news-ish kind of stuff. But this show is mainly going to be about more of just a chill stream. A lot more relaxed than other Caffeine and Octane podcasts, because we usually do these, like I said, as a news show. We usually do these as like an online news show. We'll pick like 6 stories, talk about all these stories, and then we'll just end it off. But we really want to change the show up a little bit and do less news related and more personal story related. So we chose some different topics than usual. Like I said, we usually pick about 5 or 6 news stories to cover, like the last 11 episodes. But we decided this time, like I said, to change things up. So I'll be starting off with, if you guys want to follow on with the topics, you can just check out in the title of the stream. We do have more to cover as well besides those that we have listed. But the first one we're going to start off with is the best drag cars for under 10 grand. Now, this is kind of inspired by one you said was one of TJ Hunt's podcasts where they brought up drifting.
Yeah, I was drift car, not drag car, but yeah.
Yeah, so we changed it up because we're more comfortable with drag racing. I hardly know anything about drift. I always watch a bunch of drag racing YouTubers. I don't really watch a lot of drifting. He watches everything, so he knows a lot more about drifting than I do. But anyway, so what do you think would be a good one to start off with? We'll start off with you.
Under 10 grand?
Under 10.
Obviously C5.
Yeah, C5 would be up there.
It'd be an automatic, but like for drag racing, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, because that'd be probably the best combination you can have.
Yeah.
Because
automatic still found a stick one, maybe. It'd have higher miles, but
yeah, but most of the time, drag cars, they come apart anyway.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go the other end of the spectrum. I'm gonna go the Fox body. I think with the Windsor, a lot of people like to hate the Windsor due to its low power output from the factory. But when you tear one of those motors apart, you can turn them into something absolutely mental. And I feel like that's gonna be exactly the case with a lot of drag racing Foxes. People are just gonna be like, slap a 351 in it and it's done. What do you think? What else? Another one?
You can get an S2000.
Yeah, S2000s. They run under 10 and they're very lightweight. They can fit the majority of the world's engines. I saw a Viper swapped one the other day, and I was like,
you can do anything to them.
Yeah, you could. They're probably one of the most customizable Japanese cars in recent years. Now I'm also gonna go JDM with this next one. I'm gonna go 240. 240s are very similar, minus the weight, but they are incredibly
how much did the weight gut it out?
Shoot, I think it's still in the 3s, maybe the low,
Is it really?
maybe the high 2s, maybe the high 2s.
Oh Lord, I thought they were a little bit lighter than that.
Maybe mid. I don't know. I really don't know what the 240 weighs stock, so I'm just assuming mid 2s, depending on what engine you put in it.
Yeah,
because one advantage the 240 has, and it's shared with the S2000 as well, it can fit practically any motor you want in it. LS, go for it. Coyote, go for it. 2J, go for it. The list goes on. You can fit 1,000 different motors in an S chassis. Yeah, RB, it'll blow up, but it'll be worth it.
VQ, no.
You could do that actually. That exists.
But you want to go fast.
HR, but I think that would be good. The S14 short wheelbase will also help out with launching, stuff like that. Its weight distribution is pretty good. So I think it would be one of those, would be another really good contender. And the majority of the time, as long as you're not running into one of those guys who's like, I know what I have, I'm a 240, you're probably going to get one under 10. I've seen some gnarly 240s go for under 10. There was one I saw on Craigslist a long time ago. I don't remember who it was. I'm probably going to blast your life story on here, but it was a wife who'd gotten mad at her husband for cheating and sold his car.
Like, wait, did they say that in the ad?
Yeah.
Why would you say that in the ad? There's no
just
need
exposed. But it was a green.
Right.
It was a green S13. It had an SR in it, So already going in the right direction.
There you go.
Full drift chassis, had angle already.
SR sound amazing.
Had a hydro in it. I mean, this thing was decked out. Type X taillights. I mean, this thing was done up.
Just ready to drift.
Yeah, and the chick was selling it for 75.
Wow.
75 or 8, something like that. And I was like, okay, that's more reasonable because that's a very done up 240. It was fresh paint. I mean, this thing was immaculate.
I wouldn't even drift it.
Yeah, I'd be too afraid. I'd drive it around. Yeah.
Everybody be like, "Oh my god, you're such a loser." I guess.
You should drift your 240.
I guess I don't know.
But I've always thought that, particularly the S14, the 14 is a little bit, I wouldn't say better. They're both equally as good for drag racing, but I just prefer the 14 just because I prefer the looks, which is odd because I usually stick with pop-up cars. If there's a pop-up headlight,
looks so much better.
I like the 13 though.
The pop-ups are where it's at.
Yeah, and the Sylvia front end too. Oh, I could go on all day with the Sylvia front end. What's another one you would suggest?
A drag car for under 10.
Mm-hmm. Pick something oddball.
That's what I was trying to think of. What kind of like BMWs can you get for like 10 grand?
Anything older than
you can
1990?
Get a 335.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. What didn't Simon?
They call it the modern 2J.
Yeah, the N54 is a very good engine to go with, and plus as well, even the older ones like the E36s and the E46s, they make 2J swap kits. So if you were like, this BMW motor sucks, maybe we should throw something in there that'd be a bit better for drag racing. 2J, 2J the world.
LS swap it.
Yeah, you could. I've seen that done too. The best swap I've seen though, I saw a minivan in Indonesia on 1320 Videos page, and it had a 2J in it, and it was like cramped, like it was, it's a long engine, so it was cramped from end to end in the engine bay. I was like, oh. I'm gonna go front wheel drive for this one. I'm gonna go Neon SRT4.
I knew you were gonna say it.
You knew I was gonna go SRT4?
As soon as you said front wheel drive, I knew what you were about to say.
The SRT4 is absolutely ridiculous. It is extremely unreliable.
Just go, I mean, not to shit on the SRT4, but you're already gonna go unreliable right with that. Just do a Civic. Do a Civic hatch.
That'd be a good one too. The Civic's lighter.
They're cheaper.
Yeah, you can get a Civic for $500 on Craigslist that doesn't run. K20 swap it, you're good to go. And that would even though the problem is the K20 swap itself is 10 grand.
Yeah, but you could probably get a pretty nice like SRT4 for like
6 or
7 grand.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would run. I've never bought one. Or I don't know much about them. I never even rode in one, but
that is probably.
I've known people that's had them.
Yeah, and they're not the best running cars. And
they complain a lot.
And it sucks because they're amazing technological marvels for the time. That was it was one of the last of the cars during that DSM era. I don't think it itself is a DSM car. I think it was like right after DSM was shut down.
As about.
Yeah, but the motor was partially built by Mitsubishi, something like that. It was, it was a very amazing car for the time, and I'm upset that Dodge has not been able to reignite that same car, like fire, if you will, of the Neon SRT4, because the Caliber SRT4, no one talks about it, but it exists. And didn't the Avenger have an SRT4 at one point too?
No idea. Don't they SRT everything? But like they've done it all.
The only one that I think in recent years that hasn't gotten an SRT form was the Dart, and I feel like that would have been a good one to do.
Well, they can't charge more for those things, so they don't run past like 100,000 miles.
The Dart is very unreliable. Almost as unreliable as a Neon.
Yeah, like it's basically the same thing. Just get the Neon. Just look cool for a minute.
Yeah.
Before you explode.
And like I was saying, they're incredibly
fast.
Goes out. Yeah, your transmission goes out. Any early 2000s Dodge, you guys know it. Except for his, the Durango is a tank.
Yeah, that's the one. It shifted like absolute butthole for like 100,000 miles. Like this shit's like.
Did you put that Transmax in it?
No, I didn't know about it when we were driving the Durango around. If I did, I would have put it in it.
And that would have fixed it entirely.
Yeah, I hear good stuff about that. If people don't know about it,
yeah,
the Transact stuff. Like, I know a guy who's like put it in his transmission. Like, it wouldn't go into drive. It wouldn't go into 1 or 2, or reverse. He put that in. He was able to get it in drive again. And then he was able to drive that truck around again. And he didn't even have to how?
No transmission rebuilds or anything.
Nothing. He put fluid in it and changed the filter. And he could drive it again.
I might need to do that for the drag setup for the trans. Even if with a built 5R, I'll do that.
People don't know how good. Like, just keep your transmission fluid changed, guys. Come
Yeah,
on. And
take care of
change
that.
the filter.
Take care of that.
I'm about to do it to the Ranger for sure.
Yeah, I think mine's probably going to definitely be overdue for it. Because they say to do it every 50,000 miles.
I think it was 65.
65. And the transmission of mine was put in at 150, and it's at 230.
Yeah, that's
So-
what it is for the 5R. I don't know about whatever else you guys have. Look it up.
Yeah, it might be different. What's another one you could go? So you've already got the Civic. We got the SRT4. I had an idea, but I don't think you could do it for under 10.
What is it?
I was gonna say Evo, but
I was thinking Evo too. Exactly.
but the problem is
but you know what you can get for under 10?
Subaru.
Subaru. Exactly.
So-
WRX. If you want that all-wheel drive,
Yeah, if you're wanting an all-wheel drive car,
if you're wanting a
the
0 to
best one.
60 demon,
Yeah,
there you go.
a 60-foot car. That'd be
Yeah.
a really good 60-foot car. Because the problem with the Boxer is,
It would be fun for the road though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the red light to red light race.
yeah,
You
it's
would jump
perfect.
them hard.
You would kill them. And it's just like the same story with the GTRs. You see GTR drag cars, they will kill you off the line, but any 7-second car will catch it in the top end.
Yeah.
Because the GTR's already worn out its power band as soon as it gets out of first gear. Because it's designed for launching.
Yeah.
That's not to say they're not fast cars. I've seen a lot of really fast drag racing GTRs.
Oh yeah. Like I would never be able to touch one. But
Yeah. When it comes down to, like, if there's a car of similar performance, it will catch it
Yeah.
quickly.
somebody with more money than me can make it faster than
Yeah. Let's see. So we got the Subaru, which would have been my next suggestion, because you can do that.
Subaru.
You can get those for $8 to $9 grand, even less than that.
I'm
with
just
a Furbo
thinking if you
guy.
really want to be like somewhat competitive in drag racing, you're
Mhm.
gonna need to go an American V8.
Yeah, really, it's the only way
Like
to
I
do
know
it.
the Subaru and everything, like I've said, it's like a 60-foot car, and you know
Yeah.
the S2000's good for like road course stuff. It's not really
Yeah.
a drag car. You can make it
Yeah,
for sure.
Like
It's
what
gonna
you're
take some
wanting
money.
to
Exactly like what I want to do. But if you're wanting to just out the box, kind of go fast and straight line, you're gonna need a V8.
and
sure.
to go along with that, I'm gonna say F-body. I think
that was what I was gonna say next.
they are absolutely hideous cars. I
they're
cannot look at
gross.
an F-body. Whether it be the Trans Am, I think the Trans Am gets a pass. The Trans Am looks better, but the
So
Camaro,
bad.
the Camaro is just, oh, I can't look at an F-body Camaro and be like, oh, that's a nice car. And they're great. They've got a really nice power plant on them. The LS1 is no joke.
Oh yeah, it's good especially for
And-
the time.
Yeah, and this is coming from a Ford guy. And you know, at the same time, and I would say the 2-valve, but the problem is that the 2-valve, in order to make
Don't
power,
say my next one.
huh?
Don't say my next one.
I think I know what you're going. Well, the 2-valve cannot make power. That's the problem. You can get them to 500, but it's incredibly hard to go past that with a 2-valve. And that's why I would have to give the pass to an F-body. As much as I kind of appreciate the new Edge, I think that it's not the best looking of the Mustangs. I
It
would
looks
say
just so much better than the Camaro at the time.
you think it did look, it looked better, but it did not perform better.
No,
But
it didn't, but it looked a lot better, and that's why it's like sold so well.
yeah, so I have to give the pass for like another good American V8 car to the F-body cars, the Trans Am and the Camaro.
Yeah, for sure. But what I was gonna say, and I didn't want you to say it, you get a 4-valve car.
Yeah, you can get a Cobra. You can
Exactly.
get
They're cheap now. I was looking
Yeah.
the other day. They're like under 10 all day.
Yeah, you can get it. What was it? You're looking at the SN Cobras, weren't you? The
Yeah,
96, 98s.
Yeah, like it's not Terminator, but
Yeah.
you know what you can do?
It's like a blower.
Exactly.
Put a
With the
VMP
money
on it.
with the money you're saving, you can. And I'll say, even if you're like, oh my god, the SN doesn't look nearly as good as the new it. All right, I saw
got that.
I saw a 1999 for I think it was like $9 grand exactly,
Mm-hmm.
under 10. There
Yeah.
you go.
And the 99s, the funny thing is the 9901s did not have the blower on it. It was literally what your Mach 1 was minus that intake.
Yeah, but they sound so good.
And I guess that'll be my follow-up. I think the Mach 1, because you can get Mach 1s for under 10. It's extremely hard, but it is doable.
That's doable.
So
I
that,
almost looked at one, a black one.
yeah, I remember that. And you were like, you were this close to buying it, and then you saw it was a salvage title, and you're like, never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna go look at it.
Yeah.
Like we had a time lined up and everything, and I saw it was the salad, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there was several 4-valves he almost bought in between
Yeah.
the Genesis and the S2000 recently.
Yeah.
You looked at a SN Cobra,
Yeah.
and the irony in that is he's like, "Nah, I'm not selling it for that little." Then he's like, "Yeah, I'll sell it for that little," and then 2 days later, oh, I sold the car.
Yeah, he got what he wanted out of it. And I'm like, all right, some sucker paid too much for a SN Cobra.
I mean, granted, this one was decked out a little bit, but
all they had was wheels, exhaust, and an intake.
Didn't it have suspension too, or was it factory ride out?
It was. I think it might have the eyeballs, but
yeah, just the sport lines.
Yeah, but that's like a $200 part.
Yeah, and
they help.
For sure. It probably makes it feel a lot better.
Makes it ride like butthole.
That's actually what it's just a 6 has in his car. It's the eyeballs sport lines.
Really? That's
yeah.
It? Well, they're already a lot lower than the factory.
What's another good one? If we're gonna keep talking about American V8s, then actually I already made my suggestion. What would you go with? Because I already said Mach 1.
Can you get a G8? Yeah.
Almost. I think they're like right at 12 still. I think they're riding.
They're
12.
just like right out of reach.
Yeah, it's like the C5 manual cars.
So if you want to like take payments out for like a couple months.
Yeah.
I know that's not how it works, but yeah, you could. I don't know. You could do it.
Yeah.
If you're already looking to spend 10, if you have like 10,000 in the bank saved up.
Yeah.
You could buy a $12,000 car, no problem.
Yeah, you could easily finance the last 2, and it would be
nothing.
Sure. It'd be no payments whatsoever. You'd be paying like $20 a month. Imagine that. What's your payments on your Pontiac? $2 a month.
Sure. But since we're looking for people who want to pay cash, that's what I would think. 'Cause that's what I look for when I buy a car, just to pay straight cash for.
Yeah, try to avoid. Because
is there anything else worth looking at? I want to stay away from the 2-valve if I can.
Yeah. Let's see. What's you could do. What's a good import? We haven't said a lot of imports. SC400.
There's a V8, right?
1UZ.
There you go.
That's a good mix. If you want V8 torque and a Japanese body, if you want a Japanese car, but you still want to have the V8 power to punch through, SC400. And you could follow up with a 300 too, because the 300 has a 2J in it.
Yeah.
So really,
I already know how fast that is.
The Lexus SC in general is very good. Crap. What's another good one?
I mean, 350Zs are in that range.
Yeah, 350s.
They're not. I mean, BQ. I mean, like it's like the same story with the 2-valve. You can get them to 500,
but it's really hard to do much farther than that.
Exactly. Like you're gonna have to start thinking about swaps at that point.
Yeah, and with that, the 350 is extremely swappable. You could throw.
You know what we didn't say yet?
Huh?
You get a 2-liter Genesis for $6-7 grand now, easy. At least around our local area, you can. I've seen them a lot.
And they're really good for the money.
Exactly. DK1, you swap a turbo.
Because it's an Evo. It's an Evo motor.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what comes with an Evo motor? Exactly, a lot of that. But you want to drag race,
it's a good motor to go with.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's a good motor to go with.
And plus, an advantage is...
They sound gross.
An advantage is they're really good street cars, too. So if you're not looking to build a fully fledged, tubed-out drag car with a gutted interior, it'd be a really good car to take on the streets. Because with his was a base model that was loaded to the brim with options. And it was extremely comfortable. Yeah. And I was like, and you know, if you're wanting a comfortable but fast car for the money,
S2000 compared to comfort does not even come close to comparing.
Literally, I felt like if we had taken the Genesis down to Florida, minus probably the drone from the ISR, it would have been spectacular to ride.
Oh yeah, the drone would have been atrocious.
Yeah.
But we'd be making it pop a lot going down there for sure.
Yeah, that was
We'd
awesome.
have a lot of fun with the exhaust going down there.
I miss that car.
Oh, same.
But a 2.0 is still not that bad. You could almost buy a 3.8. I think you can.
I mean, you can get a 3.8. I mean, I got mine for under 10.
Yeah.
And that was even, like, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, back when they were still 13, 14 grand cars.
Yeah, so mine had a rebuilt title. I had it inspected. It was perfectly fine, minus an O2 sensor. So I bought it. It was a pretty good deal. I never had any trouble out of that car except an alternator, which I couldn't replace myself, which kind of made me pretty upset.
Yeah.
They're kind of hard to work on, for sure.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about a 3.8, I don't know about the 2.0. I've never worked on one. But
yeah, it'd probably be a bit easier.
the 3.8 is kind of hard to work on.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of room in there.
It's like the 300.
Yeah, I mean...
There's another one.
Oh.
A 300ZX.
You can't work on them.
Yeah.
And that's when you go back to, like, 240s. Like,
yeah.
you can do everything with those cars.
Yeah.
Just having, like, simple, like, mechanic... Like, that's a car I can do stuff to.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I bought the S2000.
It's very
It's another car.
modifiable.
Like, I can do a lot of the stuff myself.
Yeah.
I'm not even that, like, mechanically knowledgeable, but I can still do
You
it.
pop the hood on that junk, you get a mile and a half of space.
Yeah, exactly. I can watch a couple YouTube videos and figure it out.
Yeah, and that's something I've done with mine too. If my dad's not helping me with it, I'll watch a YouTube video and I can figure it out. And that's exactly I figured out how to do the brake job by myself.
Yeah, so YouTube's a good resource.
Yeah. I'm gonna go a bit contradictory here, and we've already said this. We were talking outside before we got started with this. Mark III Supra. Those fall under 10.
No.
While people don't like how they look, the engines are good. Minus the 7M. The 7M can make power, but it's the least reliable of the 3 motors from Toyota you could buy, the 3 good straight 6s. Because there's still the 1J, which is phenomenal. And the 2J, which is just its own platform, you know? It's its own level
It's the benchmark of, like, pretty much all motors at this point.
It's the, you know, the 2J and the LS are both, like, the
benchmark.
Yeah, the bar of good racing engines. And with the Mark III, it's very similar to other cars we've mentioned, like the 240, the S2000. They're swappable. So if you don't like the 7M, if you're not really comfortable putting power down with a 7M, you still got the 1J, you still got the 2J, you got the LS. And one thing that dude in blue had in his channel, I believe is while he was down in Hawaii, it may not have been, it was a Ford Windsor swapped Mark III. And I was like, interesting. It wouldn't be my first choice of engines if I was putting a V8 in there. I would still go LS if I was going cheap.
I want to go back to a topic that you said about, like, the benchmark of, like, 2J and LS, how that's the benchmark.
Yeah.
I found this kind of interesting because I've met a lot of other people that's talked about that. Do you think we could finally say the Coyote's there at that benchmark now?
I could agree.
Because they're getting 1,000 horsepower out of them at this point?
Yeah. And that's, I think, really now, a lot of people, I saw this on Instagram yesterday. I was going through a tweet.
I know that's going to trigger a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not that good.
Yeah.
But
the Coyote has proven itself since 2011 as a really powerhouse of an engine. And one thing I saw this on Instagram yesterday.
They just love mods.
Yeah, they could handle all sorts of stuff. You throw anything at them and they will take it, unless you have an 18.
Yeah. It's so much better than 3 though.
Yeah, Ford really improved. But I saw this on Instagram yesterday. Speaking of that, guy said that the Coyote is the new age LS. You remember LS swaps used to be the craze about 5 to 10 years ago, before the Coyote was around.
2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah. But a lot of people are saying now that Coyotes are the way to go, because
But there's one problem.
they're expensive.
They're not just expensive.
But they're wide.
They're huge.
We've seen a Coyote block. When we did the dyno video with Michael's Taurus a few months back, we were at that shop and they had a disassembled Coyote on the ground.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
It's stupid. I mean, it is a 90-degree V8 to my knowledge, so I mean, it's gonna be pretty big. But I was not expecting it to be as big as I saw it to be. Like, I was like,
massive.
That's why
That's why the LS is going to be just the pinnacle. It's so small.
Yeah,
like I've seen
it's very compact.
LS too. It's so small.
Yeah, it's very compact compared to the Ford motors, and that's why.
That's why they're going to go in everything. Still.
Yeah,
and they're I don't know. They're at that same level as the Coyote. They can duke it out with each other.
Yeah, the sport track community has been torn for years. The Gen 1 guys like myself, they've been like, "What engine do you put in these things? You want to put a V8 in it?" Everyone's like Windsor or LS because that's all they'll fit.
Yeah.
Because the first gens, the body's not wide enough to throw a Coyote or a 4-valve or any of the overhead cam motors in. But that's the problem with the Coyote swaps, is it's really hard to find a chassis that'll fit in.
What's a chassis they do fit in?
240s.
Not surprised.
There's a chick in Formula Drift who has a S14 Zenki, like the older one that didn't have the angular headlights. Has a Coyote in it. She was actually at Import Alliance this year. Ripping it up. No, it was last year. She was at Import Alliance last year. I don't think she was this year. But a Coyote swapped S14 is crazy. And there's another Coyote swap 240 coming soon, we know, and we've been told not to talk about it. You guys will just have to wait and see. It's not on this channel, but we know about it, and it's going to be absolutely sick when it comes out. But it fits in that. It'll fit in practically every generation of Mustang. Like, there's a channel I watch now, Foxcast Media. They have a Coyote swap Fox, and they have several Coyote swap Fox bodies, and they are ridiculously fast.
Coyotes fit new edges, right?
Mm-hmm. There's another guy, Chris Sipple, has one on YouTube. He has a Coyote swap new edge. Really clean car. Let's see, who else?
I bet that's expensive.
Oh, yeah. Because I think he bought a Mustang block.
I bet it's so expensive just to get 400 horsepower.
Yeah. It's expensive, by the way, because you can build a 2-valve. And it's expensive. You build a Coyote, you put a Coyote in a car for the same amount of power, it's just as expensive.
sure.
So you're like, do I spend 10 grand on a blower for my 2-valve, or do I spend 10 grand on a Coyote swap for my new Edge? And
is there any more cars we wanted to touch on?
shoes.
I think we hit pretty much the nail on the head at that point.
Yeah, I think
the cars we said is a good selection
selection
to look at.
I think
for the price point. I mean, there might be a couple we're missing.
Yeah,
I'm just not thinking of right now.
I'm gonna throw the wild card into the Miata.
Oh my god! If you want to spend a lot of money,
Yeah.
if you have a lot of mechanical knowledge, you can do
A drag Miata.
an LS Miata if you wanted to.
Taylor Ray.
Yeah.
That thing is mad. I'm mad he didn't build that for drag. That would have been a really fast car on a drag.
I want to see
strip.
it runs.
Yeah.
He needs to take it down the strip.
Isn't he?
Has he?
I don't think he has. I think he's about to do a road course challenge
I don't
with
watch his channel a whole
Tommy
lot
F. Yeah.
anymore.
He's doing a road course challenge with Tommy F. Yeah. Tommy F. Yeah has a cake swapped to Miata.
Okay, swap.
It'll be a battle of lightweight versus power. Because
Yeah,
that's going to be an epic showdown to watch.
that's gonna be good stuff.
What's another wild card we can throw in? Like, just a card that no one would pick, but it's still a really good candidate.
Sport track.
No one but me will pick that. I mean, kinda.
Can you get a single cab? It's heavy, I know, but a single cab 5.7 Ram.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Like if
Silverado.
if you want to do like a street truck drag build,
Yeah.
you don't want to go as wild card as Jordan's going. You can still go V8 truck.
You can do another one. I would say another one, the Silverado.
Obviously, if you want
The
a better
Silverado.
motor. I mean, one.
The Silverado, as I've told many people,
I don't know,
and
they're
the majority of you guys,
expensive.
not entirely. I saw a
The good looking ones are.
yeah.
The cat eyes are still pretty expensive.
Yeah, what was it, the GMT 800 chassis, the 90s models, the late ones? Those are cheap.
Yeah.
Even the early 2000s models, which are one of my favorites.
Everybody in Alabama drives one though.
Huh?
Everybody in Alabama drives one.
What, the old one?
Yes.
True.
They're so gross, dude. You see them all out in the fucking sticks out here.
Yeah, they're everywhere out here.
Oh, they're so.
But they're cheap, and that's why everyone drives them.
Exactly. That and S10s and Rangers.
Yes, yes. Rangers are probably the most common truck we have out here.
Yeah, they're everywhere, dude. Every parking lot I see at least
Yeah.
one.
We went to Best Buy today. There's 6 of them in the parking lot.
Awesome.
Around us. But I think that's one of the things I think that's everything we could have hit.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm
good
very confident
list.
in that selection.
Yeah, there's a ton of different chassis for different people. You like trucks? That's Silverado. You like Japanese cars? SC400, SC300,
Yeah.
or 240.
That's 2000. What
You
do
like-
you want to go with? Miata.
yeah. American stuff, you've got the F-body, you got the Vet, you've got the Mustangs, the Cobra in particular. Like, it's not impossible to build a 2-valve, guys. I'm not saying that you can't build a 2-valve.
Yeah, we said we could build a 500.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if that's what you're shooting for. But I'm just saying, if you want to be like
1,000 plus.
yeah, we're talking about like serious drag racing.
Yeah,
We're
like
talking
6, 7
about-
second quarter miles.
But yeah, if you're wanting like to run like 11 and 12s.
Yeah.
There you go.
2-valve's not a bad car for that. And
I'm
there
sure
are,
you can.
yeah, and there's tons. I mean, there is a couple of 1,000 horsepower 2-valves running around,
Yeah, like
but
not
there's not many.
you just gotta have a lot of money.
Yeah, that's
Which
an expensive.
I'm
way to
guessing a
build.
lot of us don't have.
Yeah. So that was that. We had a really good list though.
Yeah, very. Like I said,
Very
I'm
good
very
list.
confident.
So this next one is gonna be really good. Scariest experience in your car. We had talked about doing this topic before, but we didn't actually get into everything with each other. So this will be new stuff for both of us. I think my scariest was my accident when I got hit. I was so uncertain of everything. I was like afraid I would get hurt because I mean my adrenaline was flowing. You don't know when you're hurt until it wears off, and then you feel it.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what happened to my accident when I got hit. A lot of you guys probably haven't been subscribed long enough to know when that happened. I was actually still doing YouTube when it happened. I was hit by a driver that was texting. I was pulling in my friend's driveway. I actually saw that friend today. And I got I got thrown into his yard. He has a bit of a dip in his yard. And when I got hit, I jammed my brakes, first reaction, skidded off the road into the ditch, and it was like this. And that was terrifying in itself. I was like, I'm about to slide into this dude's, tree in his yard.
Yeah.
I was like, crap, I am screwed. This thing's dying. And after that, I was fine for the first couple hours. I had a really bad mental breakdown because, you know, my ASD kicked in, and I was having a lot of emotions. And plus, it was a girl that hit me, and obviously, I'm not gonna cuss out a girl. That's not my personality. But that was pretty scary. But the scariest part was, you know, am I okay? Is she okay? Is the truck okay? I didn't care about the car. I was like, stupid. But
yeah.
I was worried about the truck. At the time, thankfully, I didn't have a lot of money in it. It was still stock. This is before I started modifying mine and tearing it apart and all that, throwing good motors and stuff in it. Or not good motors, I haven't thrown that in yet. But, you know, all sorts of crap I've done with it. But, so I feel like now, if it were to happen again, if I were to get ruined again, I'd be pretty upset right now. Because I know darn well there's an 80% chance the truck will get totaled at this point. But that's mainly the main thing is I was scared about was my health. Good gosh, yeah, that's scary. That's a very scary. Oh man,
Exploding on the highway. Wow.
Oh,
I just now saw your comment, dude. Oh my god. Jeez.
that's terrifying. I feel like a wuss right now.
Yeah, for real. I guess the scariest moment for me is when I wrecked my Genesis.
Yeah, that was terrifying for all of us. That was another one.
Especially when the car caught fire.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Because you hear about these forest fire things, and I'm like, oh, God, am I going to start one?
Yeah.
Because that was a big fire, and it was like in the woods.
And thank goodness, you know, the firefighters got there fast enough to
yeah, they got there to control it.
Scary.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, if you're new to the channel, if you go back far enough, you might see his Genesis was a bright. It wasn't bright blue, but it was a blue.
It was a pretty blue car. It was pretty bright.
I loved that car to death.
I love that car. It was great.
But we were cruising around. It was four of us. One is the other co-host. You can see his name, obviously. And the other is a former co-host of the show.
Yeah.
It was the four of us. We were cruising down a back road. It wasn't dark, but it was dusk. It was dusk.
With all the trees, it seemed like dark at that point.
And I stayed in the back because I'm the slowest driver. I had the most top-heavy vehicle. I was like, I'm at most risk to crash on this road. And so they had all three of them left me behind for obvious reasons. I was going 10 under the entire time. We were going down the road, and
it just got too dark.
Yeah.
With those trees, and like, I don't know if the Genesis headlights weren't aimed very well, but I could never see very well in the car. And the window tint was way too dark.
Yeah.
And you don't see where the road is for half a second. That's all it takes to go into a tree.
And one thing that I had noticed when I was driving, this is from my perspective, when I was coming down the road, I just had this really bad gut feeling. And it's something that you and Michael both said y'all had.
Yeah. Everybody had that night.
Yeah. Did Kaysen say it too?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't remember. I'd have to ask him.
But I know Michael did.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. I didn't think it was. I was more afraid of it being me that was gonna wreck. I was the most fearful of myself crashing. But anyway, I'm driving, and there's a sharp corner up the road. I turn the corner, and I see a car in this ditch. I didn't know it at the time, but it was the Genesis. I actually legitimately saw it, and I thought it was a Sonata. Because the Sonata has very similar style taillights to the Genesis. Yeah. It's not as sharp and angular, but it's very similar. So I was like, oh, that guy's life sucks. And I go around the corner, and then I look back, and I see blue. I'm like, oh. So he remembers. I slammed my brakes the hardest I think I've ever slammed them. Threw it in park, and literally left the truck running. I was sprinting, didn't even look across the road or anything. There could have been a car coming in the corner. That would have killed me. But I was like, because I've lost friends in car accidents before. A lot of you guys who are Georgia locals, especially this area, know about Kylie and Isabella's wreck. So I was like, crap, did I just lose another friend in a car accident? So thankfully I get over there, he's getting out. I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, you go ahead, he's already at this point called his parents. You were moving fast, because I was like, you had called your parents by the time I'd spotted it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the first thing to do. I hopped out of the car and I called them. I was like, okay, I need to tell them what happened immediately.
Yeah, that way they aren't surprised when you get home and your car is destroyed.
Yeah.
So we got there, everything was okay, he was fine, the car was, at this point, the car was salvageable. It was easy to fix, it was just a bent up fender, a bad door.
Yeah.
Completely fixable.
Oh yeah, and then it was on some dried leaves and pine straw.
And anyone who knows about cars knows there's a thing called exhaust.
And it was very hot.
And his car was lowered. Yeah. Very low.
And it was frame banged against between a ditch and the road.
And so
like those ISR test pipes I bought were just resting
Yeah.
on leaves and pine straw and caught on fire.
Yeah.
And I lost a bunch of stuff in that car.
Yeah.
I had my tool set and I had a hammock. Those are like $100.
Yeah.
I had like 3 or 4 jackets because I never remembered to bring them out of the car when I get out.
Yeah.
So I lost a bunch of like nice hoodies. It was
It was not a fun situation, but I remember what was handy is you were really calm and collected the entire time. You weren't like crap you know. The only time that really things ever tensed up really bad is when the car first caught fire because we were standing directly next to it when it caught fire.
Yeah, you just start hearing embers like just popping.
Yeah, we were like
And then I see the car, and to this day I think the car because it was still running while I was out of it, so it was like the radiator obviously was exploded, so the car was probably hot.
Yeah.
But I think I would have been able to cut it on, back it out, and I could have avoided that fire if I would have thought about it.
Yeah,
But you know,
again,
adrenaline's rushing. I just got out of the car, was calling my parents. This is what happened. Didn't even notice the car was just laying on flammable objects, obviously. So.
And the irony is, we were on the phone with 911 when this had happened too, when it first caught fire.
Yeah.
He was like, they were like, "Is the car okay?" He was like, "Yeah, the car's fine." Crack. Nope, the car's not fine. It's in the fire department. And
the car just caught fire.
Yeah, we literally ran to my truck, went about 1.5 miles up the road, and at this point, our other 2 friends were already at the other end of the road. The road isn't very long. It's very good for like a short little backroads cruise. But so I call.
And that was
Michael
my first
first.
time on the road too.
Yeah, driving on it.
Yeah.
You had ridden in it before, and Michael scared the crap out of you.
Yeah, but we were going the other way around it. So
Yeah,
it
because
felt
that way
like
we
a
came.
totally different road.
Yeah.
And I wanted to I didn't know where I was at.
Yeah, and not knowing your surroundings will screw you over in the end.
Oh, for sure. Like, and seeing your friends like leaving you.
Yeah, that probably did not help
knowing
you.
where you're going. I was like, oh god.
And
because I started losing their taillights. I'm like, where are we going now?
yeah, and that's why I always get upset when I get left behind on Caffeine and Octane, because I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
I make that drive every day.
Yeah.
Where I got you.
But they came over. They were fast. Literally, it's funny. I was on the phone. I'd called Michael first. He didn't answer. So I was like, oh, crap.
Call Kaysen?
I called Kaysen. I was like, hey, there's a slight problem. He was like, no, the first thing he does, he answers his phone. It doesn't even give me a second. He's like, where y'all at? I'm like, well, the Genesis is kind of in a ditch, and it's on fire. And you hear Kaysen yell, what? Straight in the phone, he hangs up, and all of a sudden you hear him screaming, his car screaming at the other end of the road.
Yeah, you hear
because his car's that loud.
You hear tire squeal and him, like, ripping it.
And then I think Michael said he didn't know what was happening, and he was just like, crap, I better follow him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they took them probably about 2 minutes to get from where we were. We were about halfway down the road at this point. And it took them 2 minutes to get back. I mean, they were fast. And they get there, they're making sure he's fine. And I call my mom. I'm like, hey, we might be home a little bit late. The Genesis kind of caught fire. And
bad situation.
Yeah, and what really sucked is it was his parents' first time seeing us. So that was not fun.
Yeah, that was my parents' first impression of him when we first started hanging out.
Yeah. They're the guys that were with him when his car caught fire. It was not a fun situation whatsoever.
He's exactly right. He said, worst part, watching it burn, knowing you can't put it out. And I'm exactly. Because there was no houses. I was like, is there any way we can get like some water over here?
Yeah.
Like, but it was terrible.
Yeah, we were literally in the middle of butt crack nowhere.
Oh, yeah. This is in the sticks.
Yeah, we knew.
Saw
we
plenty
did
of
not
Ford
know.
Rangers back there.
We really did see a lot of Rangers that day, I remember. They were all parked in people's driveways. There's tons of them.
Exactly. It was a bad situation. I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, it was not the most fun day. It almost pushed him and Michael away from the car community as a whole. They were both
I didn't want another car after that.
Yeah. And,
because after losing a car that you put so much time and money into,
and one you really loved. One you really loved.
I couldn't.
It was hard to get him to be like, I need another car.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you've got me beat on that. Both of y'all have me beat on this one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had really that many scary instances in the car, knock on wood. This closest I've got to being scared was like Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. When I was leaving school, and I told her that chick cut me off. Yeah. She was inches from hitting me.
If we're going to talk about people cutting you off, remember that time when the day I first bought my S2000, we were driving
I know exactly where you're going.
a road near our houses, and she was pulling out of her neighborhood in a big old minivan.
It was a Toyota Sequoia. That's what it was.
It was a massive vehicle, whatever
It was huge.
And she just pushes me out of my lane.
Yeah, and it's what the irony in that is you blew your horn.
Yeah, and she's looking at like, what do I do?
You're like, boy, did
I'm
you
like,
not
yeah.
see me?
I'm
You about
like-
killed me.
I'm right. If I wasn't right here, I'd be in your grill.
That was literally the day we went to go film the unveiling video for the car. The exact same day.
In your outro.
Yeah.
That was that day.
That was the day.
So
Is that-
annoying.
Well, is that like your second placer? Is your
For
scariest
sure.
experience
I
in a
wasn't
car?
really scared when that happened, but
You were
I was
ticked off.
very irritated because it was my brand new car and just paid a lot of money for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I was upset.
And that's typically it, really, for me. I've been cut off a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people can say, well, it's because you suck at driving, whatever. I'm just a slow driver. And I take my time because I'm not trying to wreck my car. I like my truck too much. But, yeah, that was probably one of the most frightening things was the Genesis. I can't really say there's been any other ones. Besides, I think for you guys, I wasn't there for this one, but a certain mailbox incident.
Oh, yeah.
Was that scary?
When it landed in my lap, it was. It, like, smacked my hand.
We're not going to go too much depth not to embarrass whose fault it was. But yeah, I wasn't there for that one. I pulled it. Hey, where's your mirror?
Who was in the backseat? Was that Kason?
Yeah, Kason was in the back.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Kason and Brandon both were.
What? I don't think Brandon was there.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think it was just Kason in the back.
Yeah, I don't remember entirely. Like I said, I wasn't there in the car for it.
I was in the front passenger seat.
Yeah, you're just like, hi.
I was like, oh, hello.
Dang, that's another one. I said the first time we went down that road in the Taurus, that was terrifying.
Yeah, well,
I think it was you were with Michael and I was with Kason.
you were Brandon.
Yeah, I remember that. Brandon took his time. He was nice and calm. I had no problem with it. I was like, yeah, we're not dying today. But I've ridden with Kason on that road too, and Kason followed Michael. His every move, every single throttle input was the same as Michael's.
Oh Lord.
And so, very fast going down that road. That was another scary one, but that's not with me behind the wheel. What was it?
I have a question.
What you got?
This is off the topic, but what's your favorite mod you've ever done to your truck?
Oof. I think what's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I understand
Like currently.
that. But
Currently.
what's on it right now? What's your favorite?
I'm stuck between the tune and the wheels.
The tune and the wheel. I understand. Those are the big mods.
Because the lowering was one thing, and it was
a
what I
couple
was most-
inches.
Yeah, I was most excited for that one.
You notice a lot more if you saw the truck every day, like me and you did.
Yeah.
It's very more apparent.
A lot of people, and I've seen this in comments in my videos, they're like, your truck's not that low. I've had people even ask me, is it actually even lowered?
So, I don't
And
know.
I'm like, if you saw it every day.
If you saw it when it was on 20s,
Mhm.
it's lower.
Yeah.
Like, it's already a little bit taller than stock, having the bigger wheels.
Yeah.
But,
If you saw it on the 16s, it looked tall.
yeah.
Man, those. Ugh. OG subscribers know how ugly those wheels were. What about you? Just all three of your cars,
All three of
since
my cars.
you haven't done much with the S2000 yet.
Straight pipe in the 4 right now. I'm just kidding. That was the worst mod. I know I didn't do the mod, but I like the Raxiums on my Mustang.
Yeah, those were
The
nice.
sequential
Those were-
13-14 style taillights.
I
were
love
nice.
those.
I didn't do it, but I bought.
They were on the
one.
car.
But that was nice.
I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna say the ISR.
It's two things.
I'm gonna say the BCs on the Genesis and the ISR on the Genesis. Is my guess.
Yeah.
Those are it.
Those are the mods. The ISR cab bag, and especially I'm gonna have to group that in with the art downpipes and test pipes.
Yeah, the exhaust
The
setup.
full 3-inch exhaust out for that car sounded
It was
amazing.
impeccable.
The pops. I
On
could make it
point.
pop whenever I wanted to. It was
You literally
awesome.
just touch the gas.
Yeah, it would just snap as loud as possible. It sounded like a gunshot. It was so cool. And having a low car was so fun for a
Yeah.
while. It was like, it was my daily, and it was kind of annoying. Engine over speed bumps all the time.
Yeah,
It's not, I didn't
But it was
enjoy
worth it.
at the end of the day.
it was worth it.
Yeah. Just don't get too cocky when you have coilovers like me.
Yeah.
I had those things set up perfectly. I thought I was a god on the road.
Yeah.
But
I unfortunately don't have that experience because even lowered, my truck still has body roll. I think if I do drop it a bit more, I'll have a very similar experience. I'm not expecting coilovers, but it'll be fun.
I can't wait to get coilovers on the Honda
That's gonna be
because
so cool.
my suspension is just so old at this point.
Yeah.
People say you can't beat the S2000 coilover or like the stock ones that come on the car, but I feel like my shocks are just so worn out at this point. It's not as good as it would be with coilovers at this point. If I got like a nice set of BCs again, how tight that would feel. Because, yeah, I think once I get some coilovers in the car,
it'll be golden.
Oh, yeah.
What about the Honda? You know, we haven't done much with it, but what about the Honda?
The valve cover paint?
Yeah, that was probably the coolest thing ever. That if you guys haven't seen that video, it was probably the most insane process of any sort of like paint mod ever.
It was hilarious, and it was just a mess at the same time. It was annoying.
That's who that is. That's Josh.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Who'd you crank up the Honda?
Sounds like it. I can't tell if that's the Mustang or what.
Mustang doesn't make any sound.
It sounds like a V6.
It does sound like a V6. It sounds like the Honda. I don't know. It sounds like a 4-wheeler. It's like
I don't know.
But sounds like a fart can.
Maybe it's the Mustang.
It's Casey. I'm just kidding.
Oh. But dang. I don't think that's probably the scariest thing that I've done is the wreck.
Okay.
Favorite mod though.
Yeah. What's your favorite mod for a car in general?
Oh, power adder, boost.
Boost applications, any kind.
Any kind.
Even nitrous.
Even nitrous. As much as I don't like nitrous for the point of that you have to refill it every so often, but I really am curious what that is.
What is that? That's loud too.
I don't know. That may have been Cason, actually. Stand by.
But boost.
Yeah.
Pro chargers, supercharger, like, I didn't say thing, but like root style.
Yeah.
Turbos, all the good stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be my favorite.
Okay, I respect that.
I'm still curious if that was Grayson or just no. No, he was in Hiram. So, that's not him. I don't know what that was, but it sounded like him. It really did, especially when he pulled away. That's all I heard was Cason.
It was automatic.
Yeah.
Made me start thinking it.
But, what about you?
I'm like, I agree with boost. It's something like super cool to see to a car that doesn't normally have it. Like you see like a turbo like BRZ or something. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's actually fast now.
Yeah, the BRZ is not fast.
Same thing with S2000. When I see a boost in one, that's kind of cool.
It's fast as balls.
Yeah, but I think suspension mods just change the look of a car. Suspension mods, and it's also with wheels.
Yeah, air, static, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you're on, like coils or like or on bags or whatever you want to do, whatever. If you lift it, no. I'm sorry, no.
We could have made a joke there, but we aren't. Oh, maybe we can.
Subaru.
The car isn't around anymore. It's
Don't
sold.
mind you lift your Subaru, dude.
The car's gone, thankfully. Not thankfully. It was still a really good car.
Yeah.
But what he's got now is like outshines it completely.
Oh yeah. Congrats, Dalton, on that one. That's pretty sweet.
We'll see it tomorrow. We'll try to get it on video tomorrow, as long as we see it.
Is he going?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I want to see it tomorrow.
Him and one of his friends posted a picture on Instagram earlier, or on their story earlier. They were pressure washing it and one of his friend's Golf GTI.
Oh, okay, cool.
His friends have good cars. It's not fair.
Yeah. Well, he lives in the rich part of Georgia.
Yeah.
He like Peachtree City area.
Yeah.
Like,
all his friends have new cars.
Downtown area is like really nice in Atlanta.
All of his friends have new cars.
Oh yeah, like they have Focus STs and WRXs, like brand new ones.
Yeah.
They have like Golfs.
Mm-hmm. It's nice cars.
His buddy have nice cars for sure.
Yeah, but
our buddies have pretty nice cars too.
Yeah, I'm the one exception of the enthusiast car, nice car group. I'm like standing up, so like, hey, can you let me in?
At least our group of friends does have a semi decent setup of cars. Like
it's stacked.
Like Cason's and Michael's and mine, and like everybody's cars are somewhat pretty nice for considering how old we are.
Yeah, and how old the cars are minus Michael's. Michael's just
and like all of us are paying for our own cars at this point.
Yeah,
it's not mommy and daddy's money like some people I know.
Yeah, but. I had to think for a second. I was like, where's this going? I was like, why would you say that? And I was like, oh.
Both my cars come out of my pocket.
Yeah, mine was a gift. So it basically was mom and dad's money for the car itself. But every single modification, mine. Everything that truck's ever had put on it is mine.
Your parents, you know what your parents
Ow,
didn't
crap.
buy you?
Huh?
They didn't buy you some like brand spanking new Sonata.
Yeah.
Your parents like hooked you up with a what was it, 3500?
It's $3 grand.
$3 grand, like truck. You made it what it is today.
Yeah, it's
Using your
come a
money
long
to do
way.
everything you're gonna do to it.
That thing has come a long way since the beginning. I wish you'd known me when I first got it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sure it was gross and stuff.
back when I hated it, I was actually, and this is you know, when it comes to the Sport Track, when I first got it, it was a very touchy thing. I didn't know if I wanted to keep it or not. I was thinking about trading it in for a more enthusiasty car. I wanted a Miata for the longest time. That was my plan, to get rid of it and get a Miata. But Michael and my parents both taught me into building it, which is ironic because my dad doesn't want me to build it anymore.
Yeah, he's not down with it.
He thinks I've already gone too far.
Does he?
Yeah, he's like, he was like, yeah,
Your dad needs to realize you're about it.
Yeah, I'm sending it.
Yeah,
he was like, you don't need to be putting a built motor in that truck. I'm like, but Dad, send it. My mom loves it. She's like, yeah, do it.
For sure. Like,
But
why not? Like,
my dad's just like,
this is the only time in your life you're gonna be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, once I get older and have a family, it's like,
Exactly. It's like
race car? What's that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, kids.
Yeah. build my kids race cars and then drive them for myself. Yeah, these are for
That's
my
why
kids.
I'm gonna buy my kids pretty nice cars that I want to drive. They're not getting to say it. If I'm buying a car, it's gonna be a car I want.
Yeah.
I don't care if they want it.
Yeah, I want a Ford Focus SC. No, you're getting an S2000, son.
Yeah, because I'm gonna drive it around.
But Dad, I want a Hyundai Elantra 1.6 or whatever. You're getting a freaking neon SRT4, and you're gonna be happy. The crap, you know, the truck was you know, I love that. It was probably the best gift I've gotten in a long time. I mean, it was the most expensive gift I've ever gotten in ever.
Wish my parents would have bought me a car.
Michael got the Jeep for free too, except it was already in the family, so they didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah,
when
I'm
they
sure
gave
if I
it
went
to
to
him.
public school, my parents would have bought me a car.
Yeah, but
If you didn't know, I was homeschooled.
yeah, he doesn't seem like it really. You know, you see a lot of homeschool kids are like, yeah, it's obvious they're homeschool, but I never knew until he told me.
Yeah, a lot of my friends that I'm friends with are homeschooled,
Yeah,
and it's like the only kids who don't act homeschool is just the one we associate with, because there's some that you meet and you're like, oh Jesus Christ, what happened? But some of them are okay. But the stereotype, I see why it's a thing.
yeah.
Oh my God. Go to a homeschool marching band, you'll see.
Oh, you'll see him.
They'll come out full force.
So, okay, so I got an interesting one.
What is it?
Dream car when you were a kid. Because, you know, everyone's car taste changes as they get older. When it comes to us car guys. All of us change as we get older.
Okay. What was yours?
SVT Cobra R. I wanted the New Edge SVT Cobra R as a kid. I would still want one now, but it's not the top dog anymore. And then the Skyline and the Supra would be underneath it.
Interesting. I don't really have a dream car when I was a kid, because I didn't get into cars until I was a little bit older. I was already like 15 years old when I started getting into cars.
What was?
Because I was, you know, about to turn 16. Oh, I want a car. My dad just bought a C4 Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
We started fixing it up. I was about that. I thought that was really cool. Now I'm like, ugh. But at the time, when you don't know a fast car, it was somewhat quick.
Yeah.
When you've been driving Rams all your life.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of quick for what it was. But when I first started getting into cars, it was about 2015. That's when the Hellcat was coming out.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I
Yeah.
wanted
That was the dream.
Sublime Green Hellcat Challenger, a 6-speed manual.
What would you get now?
It would be between like an NSX or a GT350.
That's what I was thinking. I had a feeling the GT350 would come up.
It's between those.
With
something
me,
like that.
With me, I'm stuck. But of course, the Supra is the top dog. If I can't have a Supra, I will legit not be the happiest guy on earth forever.
Supra's like a close third between those two for me.
Yeah.
Supra's amazing.
And then, of course, the 0709 GT500. It kind of surpassed the Cobra R to me because I've realized how expensive those dang things are. Cobra R's are collector's cars now, so it's like getting close to affording one. You'd be paying pretty much for an older Lamborghini. So you can get Lamborghini or a Mustang from 2000.
Yeah,
It's kind of tough. Granted, the Cobra R is amazing, but for the money, you can get so many better cars.
yeah, you can. Super.
And yeah, For 80 grand, you can buy a Supra with some mods.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Some people will charge a lot more.
You can find them on there. I've seen
Yeah.
them.
But Supra, the GT500, of course. I'm actually curious to see the new one. The new one might pass it if it's good.
Maybe. I don't know.
The pictures I've seen of it is not that great looking of a car. I honestly don't like it that much. I mean, it's aggressive, but I prefer the 350's front end compared to it. I just can't with it. Then I think it'd be a battle between the Evo and shoot, I really can't think of anything. I think it would be the Evo.
Really?
I've always been an Evo fan. I've always wanted one. They've always been like the car for me. I mean, my dad and I bicker all the time about Subaru versus Evos because he's a Subaru guy through and through. He loves the WRX so much, and I'm just like, but Dad, transfer cases are much easier to replace than engines.
True.
So it's like, it's always been a really harsh battle. And then, of course, you know, the C7s, ZR1s right underneath.
I was going to say, the C7 Gen is up there.
It's a really good car.
And the S2000 for me
Yeah.
are on that same tier. I know one's
S2000
way
fifth.
more than another, but
Yeah.
since it's my car and I drove it, and what I see they can do, like what I've seen so far, I like them.
They're
a lot.
impressive cars.
Yeah, they've gone from like before I even got mine, from like number 10, moved all the way up to like number 4.
Yeah. Ooh, Josh had a good question.
That's just how it is.
Yeah. Evo or the Kitty Cat?
Evo or the Kit Kat?
That's a tough one.
I mean,
a tough one.
Back in 2015 when I was in high school, I would have said Kitty Cat, but now
All day.
I'm all Evo.
Yeah. To me, Dodge, they can make a powerhouse, but the build quality just isn't on par for me. As much as I love 700 horsepower with a warranty, driving it a lot, the dash will fall apart.
I have a question. Which Evo? Because that does vary for me.
Yeah, it would be...
Because there's some Evos, I want a Kitty Cat more than some Evos.
I know you don't like the Evo 10.
I'm not the big... I'd rather have a Hellcat all day over an Evo 10. But if we're talking like an Evo 8 or 9,
yeah,
I'm about it. Or even the 7.
Yeah. I think it'd be the Evo 5, which
Evo 5,
we'd have to import. The Evo 9, and then the Evo 10, of course. Because I actually really like the Evo 10.
The Evo 10.
I actually really liked the Evo 10. And I would rock one. Only thing is I don't like the transmission. They come with 5 speeds, and it's 2009. You know, this is when 6 speeds were coming out on everything. Mitsubishi's like, 5 speed.
Yeah, I don't know why they were the 5 speed for so long.
Yeah, I mean, they did get rid of it. They eventually put a 6 speed in the Evo. But it took them forever. The Subaru already had a 6 speed in the STI at this point. I was like, what took Mitsubishi so long? But to be granted, their build quality sucks. That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's worse than Dodge. So it's like, you can get fast as balls, cheap on insurance, dash is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You can get extremely fast as balls, probably much more expensive insurance, dash falls off. And then your transmission breaks right after. Because it's still a Dodge.
Wow.
This is my opinion. Every Dodge I've experienced, minus that Durango, build quality is not on point. I think honestly, if I had a big Evo or the Kitty Cat, I'd just say Corvette. Call it quits. I couldn't. I as much as I respect Dodge's, you know, and just tenacity in building the Kitty Cat and the Demon, it's like I can't rock a Dodge.
Yeah.
I'm just not a Dodge person.
If we're talking about like, because I'm putting myself in the situation that I have enough money to easily afford a Hellcat or an Evo.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about like Hayden right now, the money Hayden's making at his job, which is not that bad, but like also trying to save for a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You don't want that expensive balls car payment.
Yeah, I don't want to pay like $900 a month for a Hellcat.
Yeah, as cool as it be to have. That's
like,
a lot of money you're parting with a month for a car.
I would rather have, like, if we're talking like an Evo 10 or like a Hellcat with my current income, I'd just have to go with the Evo 10 just because
it's way cheaper.
It's way cheaper than the Hellcat.
Like I was telling him yesterday.
Insurance and everything.
I was telling you yesterday. You know, I found one for 20 grand.
Yeah, I can afford a $20,000 car pretty easily.
Yeah, which you know you get a lot at your disposal at that point.
Exactly.
Coyotes, C5. Ow, crap my leg.
But yeah, I can't afford. What are they still like 60 grand, right?
Yeah, the Kitty Cats are still way up there in price.
Yeah, so like I can't afford it. I don't.
It would be cheaper.
It would be all my money.
It would be cheaper to buy an 057 and build the snot out of it and they make about the same power.
You know what would be cheaper?
Huh?
I get an S2000 and turboing it.
There you go.
Do what I'm doing.
Even cheaper, Civic and turboing it.
Yeah.
$1,000.
$200.
Yeah, $200 for the turbo kit. $500 for the car. Bam. Sticking with the single cam and everything. Make no power. I have seen some fast single cams though. I have to respect that motor. Dang. So one last thing I wanted to close with. Best first car for a car enthusiast. That's a good one.
What's our price point?
$5,000.
$5,000, because that's about what people are looking at for their kids.
Yeah, when they're
at least in the income area where we're at.
Yeah, we're not in a really rich area.
350Z.
350. That's what you go. I think I second that. I think
a kid going to high school.
Because really,
350Z still like look pretty decent for how old they are now.
And you can get a Mustang, but the problem is if you get
just make sure they have clean headlights.
Yeah, clean headlights are not very common thing for any car under 5.
Yeah.
Even my truck, when we first got it, the headlights were atrocious. I think I've shown you pictures of them before, haven't I? The factory headlights it had. Yeah. You know, I would say if you can get a 2-valve, because 2-valves are starting to drop into that range. High mileage, a little bit beat up, might need some work. 2 valves will be around that range. So if you're really wanting a V8, that could be one of your best. Josh says you got a 99 Z28 T-top.
I haven't seen any of those under $5,000 around here.
Yeah.
The Camaros hold the value pretty well around here.
Yeah, and it's annoying. It's like Def Body's looking, but it's like,
where's he from? It might be different.
Florida.
Yeah, it might be different around there. I don't know. I don't look at them a whole lot either because I don't like them that much, the way they look. But for sure, it's a hell of a car. Yeah,
they're really good started. If you can afford that, go for it.
Oh yeah,
that's a really fast first car.
If you have like a good job, if you're like 16 or like your parents are really hooking you up.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I mean, 100%. If you want to look like a trailer park redneck, but like go fast as shit.
Yeah, you'd be a fast boy. Imagine having that in high school. Like
I saw an S1000 for $4,800.
What?
Yeah.
I should have snagged it.
You can get S1000.
Yeah. There was at my high school.
I don't think it had transmission.
When I was at my high school, the nice enthusiast stuff was incredibly hard to come across. There were, your 350s. There were several of them. We had a guy with a 240. I don't know how, but
that's cool.
Those don't run $5,000 usually. Everyone's like, oh, 7. No engine, 7.
But if your parents are like, okay, so your parents are buying you your first car, they give you like $1,000. Be like our buddy Brandon, and his parents hooked him up with an Integra. Yeah, it's not that bad.
That's really not a bad car to start off with at all.
I think they look pretty decent.
Yeah, even any Honda chassis, really.
Yeah, like if
Prelude,
like
Civic, Integra.
Yeah, exactly. All those cars are pretty nice. They'll run forever.
Yeah, they're really reliable, even for a non-enthusiast.
It'll teach you how to work on cars. Yeah, that's for sure.
They're easy to work on.
They're easy to work on.
Incredibly easy.
That's mainly why I got my Honda, to learn to work on cars a little bit better. And and I have at this point.
Let's see. So you have the F body, you got the 2-valve, we've got any Honda chassis. Let's see, what's another good one that's cheap? I don't really know. I think the Miata. Miata
would be a cool car.
Miata is always the answer.
The convertible. And
it's a really fun little car. I mean, I'm the most I've driven a Miata is around the neighborhood, but I enjoyed it every second of it. It was so cool. That'd be another good one you could drive. S2000's just out of reach. Just out of reach for a good condition Honda S2000. You could get one. It's doable. You can get one for under $5,000, but it's more than likely destroyed, and you would need to spend about as much as you paid for it to get it running again.
If you get your parents to put $5,000 down and get a job.
There you go.
There you go. You can get that.
Shoot.
Bug eyes aren't.
Bug eyes are starting to fall down there. Yeah.
Are they getting to that point thing?
I saw.
They're gonna have some issues. I feel like.
I saw a WRX, not an STI. Bug eye go for 48.
STI.
Yeah, it was 48.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, this
might have some issues.
You might. Again, the EJ motors, super guys, please don't get triggered when I say this. They're not reliable. Misfire. They blow up. They hydrolock, stuff like that. I don't know if they've hydrolocked. I'm making that up, I think. But, the EJ...
Stick a hose pipe down its throttle body at will.
Yeah. But they're not reliable, and that's the problem with any of those big, big 4-cylinder 4-doors you can look at. The WRX unreliable, SRT4 unreliable. You can get SRT4s for under $5. That's another one you can go with. Dang. That's actually really hard. The SRT4 is a good value for the money.
Yeah, it is.
Fast.
You're gonna go fast. What are Mazda speeds?
They're getting around 8.
Oh,
They're on 6 or 7.
They're still just a little out of reach.
Yeah. All the ones I've seen, even 2013 Mazda
You
Speed
get a
3s.
Mazda 3 though.
Huh?
Mazda 3.
A base 3, yeah. That's another good
It's
one.
not that bad of a car.
Yeah, they really aren't.
They look pretty good.
Yeah, they do look pretty good. I prefer the newer ones.
Really?
Yeah, I like the newer ones that have a giant smiley face in the front of them.
Sure.
I think it's funny. But, I don't know. You have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. That's all pretty much all the cars I can think of.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, we went a little bit over our usual length. We usually stop at an hour, but it's an hour 15 as we speak. We're going to go ahead. Do you have anything else?
I feel like that was a good podcast.
Yeah, it was very... I enjoyed making this one.
Yeah, conversation flowed pretty well.
Yeah.
With the new style.
Yeah, and I think this is how we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it, keep with these different topics. We'll probably do another very similar topic to the drag car one very soon with the next episode. This will be the last one of 2018. So,
yeah.
RIP 2018. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. It was very fun. Like I said, this is going to be the new style going forward. We've always had fun doing a news show with it, but we like having a chill stream. And having a news show there's a dime a dozen of them.
Yeah, for sure.
There's tons of news shows for cars on YouTube. And we were like, let's change it up.
Change it up. You know what's unique? Everybody's personality. So
yeah.
Just add some more personality to the show.
There may be other shows like this, but there's no show with us.
Exactly.
So
that's a market we can corner.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
I enjoyed the new format. I think it was good. I had a fun time making it.
Yeah. So with all that said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We got to go eat some pizza. That just got here about 10 minutes ago. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're in attendance at Caffeine and Octane, be sure to look out for us. We're not sure who all's going to be coming up with us. I think it may just be us. We'll be taking just the truck. The S2000, as we've said, is still out of commission.
Yeah, gotta get my clutch in.
Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, for real. I work for you guys.
Basically. So, with all that said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Look forward to the vlog tomorrow. We aren't going to be doing a premiere of this one, I don't think, unless you want to shoot it and do it. The premiere and the vlog.
Okay.
We'll think about it. We'll see what we do tomorrow. But with all that said, guys, hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whatever.